Hello everyone, hope all are doing good and are safe at home. So today in this class we are going to see water dance part 2. In the previous class we had seen part 1 of water dance. So before we move on to part 2, let us have a short recap of what we did in part 1. Okay, so what we had studied in part 1? Yes, the different forms of water. So how many forms of water we saw in part 1? Yes, the 7 forms of water we had seen. So which is the first form of water? Yes, it is rain. So the water that falls from the sky is called the rain. And the water that flows from the mountain is called mountain stream. Yes, and the water that flows forcefully from the stone cliff, that is a stone edge. Which is this form of water? Yes, it is called the waterfall. And the water that flows from the shadow of the mountain, between the shadow of the mountain, and it is very quiet and it is deep and it overflows. So which is this form of water? Yes, it is lake. And the water that joins the small streams, creeks, not only that, it grows wider, broader and deeper. So which is this form of water? Yes, it is river. And then the water, what it does, it passes the big stone, the stone boundary. After passing, it leaves the land behind. Why it leaves the land behind? Because here we see the river and the ocean, it merges. And not only that, at night what it happens, it starts flowing with force. So which is this form of water? Yes, it is sea. Then we saw that the water is then pulled up by the heat of the sun, and then it evaporates in the air and disappears. So which is this form of water? Yes, it is the mist. So we had seen the 7 forms of water in last class in activity 2. Then I had given you all some homework in activity 3. So, how is the river different from the sea? This was the question that was given to you. So, I hope you all have done this homework, and now we'll discuss this answer. Okay. When we look at the poem, we come to know that both river and the sea, they are the forms of water, right? We had discussed this in the poem in part 1 when we were studying, but they are different in many ways, that also we had seen. So what is the difference of river and sea is this: the river, what it does, it flows in winding course through broad and golden valleys. Okay, then what it does, it is joined by small streams and creeks. So it is, so what it does, it not only stops there after joining, it grows deeper, heavier, stronger. So this form of water is the river we saw. But opposite to that is the sea. Sea, it flows through a high stone edges, and there it is being collected at the plain. And what it does, it leaves the land, we had seen. Why it leaves the land? Because river, it merges with the ocean, therefore it leaves the land behind, and this form of water is called the sea. So these are the differences that we saw in the textbook. Out of this, if we see the differences of river and sea, what it can be? Yes, sea, it is huge water body, whereas river, it is a thin water body. And from sea we get salty water. For example, when we go to beaches, when we taste that water, it is salty, whereas in river we get the fresh water. So this is all about activity 3 that we saw. Now let us see activity 4, water dance part 2. The further forms of water we are going to discuss in this activity 4. So let us read the lines. In thousands of shapes I reappear, high above the earth in the blue sky. I float, I drift, I am the clouds. So here we see that water, it appears in thousands of shapes, right? And high above the earth in the blue sky they are seen. And these various shapes, it keeps on floating in the air and drifting. Drifting means it moves from one place to another. So this form of water, it is called clouds. Let us read the further lines. Carried by winds from distant sea, I move, growing heavier, growing darker. Returning, I am the storm front. So, what we learn here is that the wind, it carries the water from distant. Distance means from far away, where it carries to the sea. So, childrens, during the monsoon season, when we look up at the sky, what do we see? Yes, we see the clouds. What it does, it moves along the wind. And when it starts moving, it starts becoming heavier and darker. We see, right? So when it is about to rain, we see that the cloud, it becomes heavy and dark. And then we say that it will start raining, right? So this form of water is called the storm front, meaning it starts means it begins, the beginning of the wind. Storm front means the beginning of the wind. Let us read the further lines. At the walls of the mountains I rise up as gleaming power filled towers in the darkened sky. I am the thunder. So here we see that the water, it rises up at the walls of the mountain, where in the darkened sky. And how it looks? It looks like the gleaming power filled towers. Gleaming power, it is nothing but brightly shining power filled towers. So kids, when the sky becomes darker, from that we can see the flashlight for a while, right? And that flashlight is called the thunderhead. So the meaning of the thunderhead is a large part of cloud, often it appears before the thunderstorm. That is called the thunderhead. So this form of water is called thunderhead. Let us read further lines. I blind the sky with lightning, the earth trembles with my thunder. I rage, I drench the mountainside, I am the storm. So we see that this form of water, it blinds the sky with lightning. Blinds means it covers the sky with lightning. And when it covers the sky with lightning, what happens there? Yes, the earth, it starts to tremble. Tremble means it starts to shake or shiver. Why it starts to shake or shiver? It's because of the loud noise of thunder, loud noise of storm. And because of that, it starts to shiver and it starts to shake. Okay, then the water, what it does? Rage. Rage means anger that cannot be controlled. So we see that the water, it becomes angry, and when it becomes angry, what it does? It drenches the mountainside. Drenches means makes the mountain wet. So this form of water is called storm. Let us see the next lines. Storms come, storm pass. I am countless droplets of rain left floating in the silent air. I reflect all the colors of sunlight. I am rainbow. So kids, which form of water we can see here? Yes, it is describing about the rainbow. So the storm, it comes and it goes, but we cannot count it. Why? Because it is countless. The raindrops are numerous and it starts floating in the air. These small raindrops, what it does, it starts to float on the air. Okay, so children, you must have seen the moisture during the rainy season, right? The small droplets, what it does, it floats in the air. And after that we see that these droplets, what it does, it reflects all the colors of sunlight. Reflects means throw back of light. Okay. Colors of sunlight means we must have studied in science that there are 7 colors of sunlight. That sunlight is made up of 7 colors. Okay. So this form of sunlight is called the rainbow. So this form of water is called the rainbow. And then the water, what it says, I am one thing, I am many things, and I am water. This is my dance through our world. So even if water is one thing, kids, it exists, has many things, that is in many forms on earth. So that is the water. So this is all about the part 2 that we had studied today in activity 4. So children, there is a homework for you all today. First, you have to note down the poem of part 2 water dance in your notebook along with the meanings that was discussed in this class. Apart from that, you also have to do activity 5. In that there is one question. I am one thing, I am many things. So you have to do activity 5 also in your notebook. I will be discussing this answer in the next class. Thank you.